Good Monday and happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day to everyone out there. This is Garden State Weather and GardenStateWeather.blogspot.com providing superior forecasting for the northern mid-Atlantic region 24 hours a day. I'm forecaster Robert Smith on the 19th of January 2015. And of course, Sunday was a mess across the entire New Jersey, New York, Philadelphia metropolitan area. We had anywhere from a tenth to a quarter of an inch of ice that fell mainly in the morning hours until this freezing rain changed over to rain. Now, there were a number of multiple car pileups and several fatalities during this little bit of icing on Sunday morning, and it didn't take much. It was 7:45, 8 o'clock, 8:15 in the morning, and we had just numerous accidents all over northeastern New Jersey, western New Jersey as well, and in and around the New York City metropolitan area, and unfortunately some fatalities as a result of these pileups. The National Weather Service's meso-net observations show better than an inch and a half to 2 inches of rain fell across the entire region from late morning right through last evening. And the National Severe Storms Laboratory experimental precipitation estimates over the New Jersey, New York, Philadelphia metropolitan area on Sunday shows better than 2 inches here south of Wilmington down through Dover, Delaware. Also portions of northwestern New Jersey and central New Jersey receiving the heaviest into the New York City metropolitan area and then up into Stamford, Connecticut here. Basically, all the reds here are indicative of 2+ inches. The orange is getting close to 2 inches, and the yellows all show in this region better than 1 inch of rainfall has fallen. And with that heavy rain comes some watches, warnings, and advisories, and we'll get into those sea areas in just a moment. These are what's left over of the flood issues here. First, we'll start out in Danbury, Connecticut, where there's a flood warning in effect until this afternoon. The flood warning continues for the small rivers at Brookfield until this afternoon. 8 o'clock this morning, the flood stage was at 12.8 feet. Flood stage is at 12 feet, so minor flooding is occurring, and minor flooding forecast. The river forecast to continue to fall below the flood stage after 11 a.m. this morning, and obviously water will flood the lowlands along the Still River. Back into New Jersey here, this is the famous area that often shows flooding. This is the river at Brook Mills here at Millstone River at Blackwell Mills. Until flood stage was at 8.9 feet this morning. The flood stage is 9 feet. The river expected to rise to near flood stage this afternoon. And in this area, it means that South River Street in Millstone, the base of Route 533 bridge floods. River Road between Yorktown and Amsterdam is subject to closure, and Canal Road near Sudam Road floods, and the Giggstown Causeway is likely closed as well. Other watches, warnings, and advisories here on the South Shore of Connecticut, the North Shore of Long Island. Small craft advisories until 6 a.m. Tuesday for west winds at 10 to 20 knots, gust up to 30 knots. On the South Shore facing beaches here from Long Island, from Sandy Hook all the way out to Montauk Point, we have small craft advisory in effect until 6 a.m. Tuesday for west winds at 10 to 20 knots, gust up to 30 knots. And for the New Jersey coastal waters, we have small craft advisory conditions too. And these small craft advisory conditions will remain in effect until 4 a.m. Tuesday for west winds at 10 to 15 knots, gust up to 20 knots, increasing to 15 to 20 knots with gust up to 30 knots through this morning. The winds will then diminish during tonight and south to north. Seas will be between 3 and 6 feet. On the aviational weather deck today, VFR ceilings with bases mainly between 4,000 and 8,000 feet, some scattered out, especially closer to the coast. There could be some MVFR bases from time to time from Allentown and Reading. West-southwest winds at 5 to 10 knots, becoming west-northwest and increasing to around 15 knots, gust up to 25 knots. VFR conditions continuing tonight, ceilings mainly at or above 10,000 feet. Westerly winds diminished to less than 10 knots. Tuesday and Tuesday night, VFR conditions much of the day, possible MVFR ceilings at night. Wednesday and Wednesday night, that's when the Clipper comes in, MVFR conditions and possible IFR at times expected in rain and snow, and then becoming mainly VFR later Wednesday night. Thursday and Friday, VFR conditions expected. Right now, outside of Newark, New Jersey, at the International Airport, we have 39 degrees, dew point 30, humidity 70%. The wind is west at 15 gusts to 26 miles an hour, visibility 10 miles, a few clouds at 3,500 and 8,000. And the wind chill 31 degrees. West winds gusting this afternoon, diminishing tonight under VFR conditions. For Philadelphia this morning, 40 degrees, dew point 31, humidity 70%. The wind is southwest, due west at 20 knots. Visibility 10 miles, a few clouds at around 7,500. Wind chill around 30. Again, the story today will be the winds early and then diminishing winds with scattered to broken cloud cover and VFR conditions in place. Okay, let's start out with the current observations this morning here and move into the forecast for the upcoming week. Right now across the region we generally have cloudy skies, a few broken ceilings with some sunlight filtering through. All the cloud cover is between 7 and 8,000 feet. That's the mid-level range. Cloudy skies at Central Park, 39 degrees this morning. Partly sunny at LaGuardia and Kennedy and Newark this morning. The temperature is about 39 to 40 degrees. And the winds are basically out of the west at about 10 to 15 miles an hour, but we do have a gust now occurring at LaGuardia and at Kennedy and at Newark in the 25 mile per hour range. Out on Long Island, we have a partly sunny partly sunny sky across the region. Temperature is about 40 degrees. The winds are out of the west at about 10 to 15 miles an hour. Some gust into the lower 20s right now. Up the Hudson River Valley, it's either cloudy or partly sunny. Temperatures again holding around 38, 39 degrees. And across the interior of metropolitan New Jersey and interior northwestern New Jersey, basically just cloudy skies. A few breaks of sun here at Liberty. Temperatures all in the mid to the upper 30s across the region, and the winds once again out of the west at about 10 miles an hour. A few gusts into the 20 mile per hour range, especially around the airports this morning. Eastern Pennsylvania and Philadelphia, it's partly sunny and 40. Allentown, it's partly sunny and 39. Visible past the satellite imagery this morning shows the deck of clouds across the area. A few breaks around the coast in northwestern and central New Jersey, right over the Delaware water gap here. A few more breaks in the clouds, central and south portions as well. Look at the striations of the cold air advection over the mountain ridges here in Pennsylvania. And this is some cold air advection moving in the area, but the atmosphere is pretty dry. We do find some snow plumes here coming in from off the Great Lakes and downwind here into southeastern New York. None of these are really reaching the ground. We call this snurga, which is basically snow or virga that's not reaching the ground, but it's showing up on the radar composites. We can see this trend on Doppler radar. Here's a few snow flurries and snow showers. It's all snurga, or virtually virga, precipitation not reaching the ground. It would be in the form of snow or snow flurries across the region, but none of this has reached the ground and has not materialized, and it's waxing and waning as it does so. Bird's eye national view of the weather chart here from weatherroanoke.com, and digital atmosphere software shows the storm system that produced all the heavy rain and icing yesterday into Atlantic Canada now. And it's deepening as it does so, lifting further away from the region. Here's another frontal boundary which will be approaching the region during this afternoon and tonight. And here is our storm system, or Clipper, now getting into the United States. So the 12Z model data, we'll take a look at that. That should have some better ingestion into the forecast going forward for Wednesday afternoon and Wednesday night, where the snow is going to be coming down. It will be on the light side, but still could accumulate, especially in the afternoon and especially towards rush hour on Wednesday evening. So we'll get into that in just a moment as well. But meanwhile, we generally have high pressure in control, northwesterly flow, and broken ceilings across the forecast region with some gusty winds during today. NamWRF composite reflectivity and cloud cover product from Penn State Seawall site. This is off the latest 12Z run this morning. Stratocumulus clouds break up during the afternoon's west to northwest flow, and breaks of sunshine. Diving, here comes our Clipper system right now, diving into the upper Great Lakes and then the Ohio River Valley. It gets sheared out a little bit in the confluent flow and begins to break up, but this is where the model is not showing this for Thursday evening, where we could find some enhancement to the precipitation along the coast and right south of New York City and northeastern New Jersey. We'll get into that in just a moment. Now, of course, we can't compare one year to another in seasonal forecasts. That's just short duration, and anomalies actually exist. But by this time last year, we had about 5 or 6 snow events in the New Jersey, New York, Philadelphia metropolitan area, including icing as well. This year, just a couple, just a handful. This is the latest 6Z run off the GFS here, precipitation type and basically thickness levels here. Here we go with the cold air winning out on a west wind. Here comes a small disturbance here on Tuesday afternoon, and that probably minors out as it rushes off the coast, keeps a high pressure ridge across the northeast and mid-Atlantic coast states building in. So dry conditions. And here comes our Clipper now for Wednesday afternoon. Looks like it's going to take a path now through the Ohio River Valley and then off the Delmarva coast as this band here of snow, light snow, isentropic lift begins to weaken, and this area of low pressure begins to take hold. So it's a pressure jump actually to the coast. and it looks like the enhancement for the snow would probably be the heaviest around central and southern New Jersey's coastline, into portions of the Delmarva, maybe south of New York City, maybe into New York City and Newark proper, and then that goes out basically, and we're just left over with this low pressure winning out over the coastal waters and this one dampening out here across Pennsylvania by Thursday morning. That would be early, and then the snow begins to break up and exit as the moisture shield begins to pull away into the northeastern Atlantic. And then we're just left with high pressure and cold, dry air basically into the forecast. I don't see any major storms. Here comes another frontal system and low across southeastern Canada by the time we get to Saturday morning, and that moves through the region. Could be a little bit enhancement with the cold front itself. Some light spotty snow showers could exist across the Hudson River Valley into portions of northwestern New Jersey, maybe the New York City area, getting into a little bit of a warm air there with a little bit of light rain or snow pellets, and then that goes, and then just cold, dry air in place. Here comes another clipper system, another system driving through the Kentucky and Mississippi River Valley here, getting off of the mid-Atlantic coast states. Again, a transfer from the low over the inland areas to a low pressure jump here across the and off the southeastern mid-Atlantic coast states or mid-Atlantic coast states. And that just proves that nothing is really going to happen with this. More high pressure and cold, dry air builds in again for late next weekend and early next week. So we've got a number of systems coming up, but absolutely nothing that's showing up on the model data here that supports any major winter storm systems across the region. When we look at the stratosphere near the equator here at 30 millibars, this is the reason why the equatorial Pacific jet stream is so strong and the QBO so negative that it's not allowing the blocking mechanisms to occur in the northern Atlantic, and it's also not allowing the polar vortex to drop further south. So we don't really have much interaction with the southern jet stream and the polar jet stream as well. So we just have a west to east flow, disturbances in the polar flow overwhelming and outweighing the subtropical jet, and nothing slowing down here, so we don't have storm interaction that produces major East Coast snowstorms at this time. Where we carefully examine the 30 millibar temperatures here in the stratosphere over the poles and into the North America, here's our area where stratospheric warming has been its greatest, and it's extended into the Atlantic, but now it's backing away to Europe and the other side into Asia. It's beginning to cool down once again in the eastern United States. As a result of this, we're not really finding we're finding a more cooler atmosphere in the stratosphere over North America up through about January 15th or 18th or so, 16th. And this is the reason why a lot of these problems are existing right now, because the jet stream is so strong out over the Pacific, and even with the stratospheric warming occurring and then waxing and waning again, it was at its strongest point just a couple of days ago, and now it's beginning to trend back down once again. And the zonal mean temperatures here in red for this year, well, we had a spike here, the zonal mean at 30 millibars in the stratosphere, then a sharp drop in early January, sharp rise again, and now it's beginning to fall once again. This is all over the place, and the jets. So, oh, blah dee blah da. Life goes on, and the weather does too, but it's quite benign. Garden State Weather and gardenstateweather.blogspot.com, Twitter, Facebook, and Google+. That's where you find all of us all the time, 24 hours, 7 days a week. For Garden State Weather and gardenstateweather.blogspot.com, I'm forecaster Robert Smith, and we'll have an update on the future forecast for Wednesday night particularly. We've seen the snow amounts on the grids from the National Weather Service offices, and actually this is just a little bit of a fly in the regular ointment here. This is not really a winter where you can really call it one, other than being seasonally cold.